are here in Mallow for round 5 of the Valvoline Motorsport Ireland National Forest Rally Championship as we kick off the second day of action for the Jim Walsh Cork Forest Rally.
After a dramatic opening day at Ireland's only 2-day forest rally, Andrew Purcell claimed maximum points for round 4 of the championship. But with 6 exciting stages in store for day 2, who would emerge with the top score on round 5 and the coveted overall win at the CFF Group Jim Walsh Cork Forest Rally?
We're looking forward. It's a bit wetter this morning. It'll make the tyre choice that little bit trickier, but look, it is what it is. We'll give it a go again and hope for the best.
Yeah, no, we're going to push hard today and see if we can get the win today. Now,
do you feel the weather will have impact on you in any way?
I think the stages, going by what we can see, the stages, the weather won't affect them.
Josh, these are new stages for you.
Yeah, definitely new stages, new challenge. Look, they look nice from the DVD anyway, so look, we're looking forward to it.
The M. O'Brien Plant Hire J1000 Championship comes to a conclusion this weekend, and day 1 didn't go so well for defending champion Jason Murphy. Hoping to secure back-to-back titles, the Mayo driver was off the road in stage 2, and only for the loan of a spare wishbone from round 4 winner Peter Beaton, his event would have been over.
Brilliant stages. We managed to get the win yesterday. They got maximum points. Hopefully we'll do the same again today. But the stages are looking brilliant for today, so hopefully the day goes well.
Jason, this could be your day to clinch the championship.
Yeah, hopefully now we'll try and go out and get a good run today and hopefully come away with the championship again.
Let's take a look at what Clerk of the Course Paul Casey and his team at the Cork Motor Club have laid on for day 2 of the event. Stage 7, Mount Hillary, kicks off the action and also runs as Stage 10. Followed by Stage 8, Wing, which also serves as the event closer, Stage 12. Running as Stages 9 and 11, the longest test is Boggara Drive, a fast-flowing stage that traverses a wind farm on the Boggara Mountains. Despite a deterioration in weather conditions, the fans were still out in force as Barry McKenna and Leon Jordan took to the stages in their Ford Fiesta R5. Championship points leader McKenna went quickest on the opener to move into the overall lead, but he did have a few moments along the way to lead by 1.9 seconds after 2 stages.
Into 6 left over junction, 6 left over junction 200. To a 4 left plus OK hug up here, 4 left plus OK hug 150. Small press down here and fast 3 right hug our corner.
Former leader Andrew Purcell still felt his Fiesta lacked top speed. Not a good complaint ahead of the faster flowing stages of Cork Day 2. He wasn't too impressed with his tyre choice for the opening loop either and slipped back to second place.
150. 5 left, don't cut logs. 5 left, don't cut it. Don't cut 5 left. 40. Flat 3 left. Minus. 130. 1 left continues for 140. See, open hairpin right, rocks inside. You'll see the open hairpin right. See it, man. Let her out, don't panic. 200.
An early spin on day 1 left Josh Moffat on the back foot from the off. But with day 2 acting as a separate round, it was a clean slate for the former champion. Third on the opener, he was quickest on stage 8 and closing fast on the front 2. Adrian Hetherington had a fine drive on round 4 to finish 4th overall and win class 15, and he was really looking forward to the fast stages of round 5. But it wasn't to be as the engine of his Toyota Corolla WRC blew on the first stage of day 2. Cahill McCourt was making his R5 debut in the Ford Fiesta at the Cork Forestry. He finished day 1 in 6th overall, but was up to 4th on day 2 as he acclimatised to the new machine.
All go. Flat crest and flat 6 right. 80. Flat 5 right, keep into 6 left. 130. all the way to the 100 board, bus stop left entry. Into 4 left, go for me, 250.
One of a number of crews to also make the step up to R5 this weekend, Stephen McCann finished 5th after day 1, and he had hoped to see improvement on day 2, but he remained 5th after 2 stages. More familiar in a rear-wheel drive Escort Mark II, Vivian Hamill found the change to 4-wheel drive power an exciting one, and he held 6th overall. Philip Allen had more than his fair share of excitement on day 1 of the Cork Forest, and the newcomer was hoping for less drama in the Hyundai i20 on day 2. It was 9 years since Alan Carmichael rallied on gravel and was happy with 7th overall on day 1. Sadly, day 2 didn't go so well and he retired his Mini with mechanical trouble on the opener. Group N winner from round 4, Owen Rogers, will be happy to record another top 10 overall finish on round 5. Trying hard to reel in the class leader, Niall Devine was making some mistakes and was over 40 seconds adrift in 9th overall. Shane McGurr switched from his trusty Toyota Starlet to a Mark II Escort for the Cork Forestry and took the 2-wheel drive victory on day 1. A repeat performance looked on the cards as he continued to lead on day 2. Was this the beginning of a beautiful new friendship?
I would like to do another few in this if we get this out of this weekend and survive. I think I'll probably take this to Lakelands to see. I don't want to write my wee Toyota off it, which is sentimental value, that thing, so I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Mickey Conlon recently underwent shoulder surgery and was feeling a little tender after day 1 of the rally. The reigning national and border rally champion was soldiering on and holding 2nd in class. Thomas O'Connell had led the 2-wheel drive battle until an off on stage 2, and he was climbing the ranks again on day 2, only to retire on stage 8. Jordan Hone took the junior class win on day 1, but the reigning Group N champion was caught cold on Sunday morning as he slipped to 2nd in class, with Father Paul calling the notes in the Opel Adam R2.
.150. 1 left plus, stop, 40, 6 right in. C350.
The new junior leader was James Wilson, who surprised himself with his pace on the opening stages of day 2.
James, you're leading the juniors in round 5.
Yeah, big shock this morning. Just thoroughly enjoyed the stages. They're quite fast and technical at the same time, so no, we got a good rhythm this morning, and hopefully we can just keep that going, see what happens.
Not quite on the pace of the front 2, Marty Gallagher had suspension issues on day 1, but was still hanging in there in the Peugeot 208 R2. In the J1000 class, Scottish driver Peter Beaton was continuing to lead after taking the victory on day 1 with navigator Conor Boylan. 2nd in class on day 1, Aoife Gahan and Michelle Walsh were quicker than Beaton and Boylan on the opening test of day 2. And it was great to see an all-female crew doing well on the stages.
Aoife, rallying is a male-dominated sport. It's great to have a female here today. How did this come about?
Yeah, obviously it's great to put it up to the boys, but Dad's heavily involved with it. We kind of grew up with it, and of course Frank Maher is my godfather, so it's in the blood somewhere, I'm sure.
Day 1 didn't go so well for Rory Byrne as he put his Peugeot off the road on stage 2. He was careful not to do likewise on day 2, and he held 3rd in class for the moment. Aaron Whelan was another to recover well from an off on the opening day, and the former Irish karting champion was enjoying his rallying debut. Having rejoined the event under Rally 2 rules after an off on day 1, Jason Murphy was setting the pace on day 2 and looked like securing back-to-back titles in the J1000 Championship.
The J1000 is a brilliant way to get into rallying. Tell us a little about how you got into it, Jason.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, Ray Fitz, the organiser, came to me and told me about it, and I jumped on board straight away. It sounded great. Like, I had started in rallying at 14 in just doing autocrosses, and it sounded class, so I jumped on board straight away and got my uncle to sit with me for a bit of experience.
Back at the top of the overall leaderboard, it's Barry McKenna who holds a slender lead ahead of Andrew Purcell, with Josh Moffat hot on their heels after the opening loop.
Serious battles happening right down through the various classes here at the Valvoline Motorsport Ireland National Forest Rally Championship. Join us for more action after the break.
Welcome back to Mallow for round 5 of the Valvoline Forest Rally Championship on day 2 of the Jim Walsh Cork Forest Rally. It's the first time in over 10 years that the event has been organised as a 2-day rally, and that was down to clerk of the course Paul Casey and his team at the Cork Motor Club.
Delighted to see it back as a 2-day event. Hasn't run as a 2-day since 2007. We've got massive support from the town, all our sponsors, CFF, JM Breen, huge team behind me. I'm just so thankful to everyone.
We fully recognise that a lot of our customers are very much motorsport enthusiasts, and we'd like to demonstrate our support for this event.
Back to the action now, and the afternoon loop saw the crews tackle the long Boggara Drive stage for the first time, along with the second run over the Mount Hillary test. Quickest across both stages was the Fiesta R5 of Barry McKenna, but there was nothing in it, with less than a second between himself and Josh Moffat on each stage as the battle for top spot really began to heat up.
Time to 4 left, 40 now, 40, fast 48 plus long, fast 48 plus long here, don't cut it, and long 6 right, go 80, and small crest, go, and the 6 left, go 130, down to C.
Having already recorded a non-finish earlier in the year, Josh Moffat knew the weekend could make or break his championship, and after scoring third place points in round 4, the Monaghan ace was going all out for the win on day 2. Another driver with a non-finish to his name was Andrew Purcell. Now down to third, the Tipperary man had already scored maximum points in round 4 and was taking a more cautious approach in round 5 as he had no answer to the pace of the front 2.
Long 6 left of the people there, don't cut it. Long 6, don't cut. 60. Middle of a black crest, 150. Turn square left around the bale onto the car.
More familiar with the Group N Mitsubishi, Cahan McCourt was making good strides in his move to R5 machinery. He held 4th overall in the new Fiesta.
Keep, watch this late 4 left, tight, keep on it. And 5 left, keep 40.
So, Cahan, this is your first outing in the R5. It's a bit different from the Mitsubishi.
It is, yeah. There's a lot more braking and here there's a lot more driving to this car now, definitely. The Evo, they're a bit heavier, you know, and this car here's a lot lighter over jumps and stuff. But no, great car. We're starting to get the grips for it now and definitely enjoying the day.
Less happy with his progress from an S2000 to an R5, Stephen McCann was a little disheartened to be losing time to the pace setters, and he held 5th overall. Coming from a 2-wheel drive Escort to an R5 Fiesta, Vivian Hamill had McCann in his sights, and just 2.5 seconds separated the pair with 2 stages remaining. Just a fraction of a second further back in 7th was Philip Allen. The Cookstown driver was really putting the Hyundai i20 through the mill in Cork. Good job he runs a crash repair business.
Philip, why did it take you so long to come into the forestry?
I don't know, I've just been dipping my hand at a bit of tar last year. We're not long started at it. Sure says we'll give this a bit of a bladder and see how we get on.
And are you enjoying it out there?
Oh Jesus, fierce crack. If we can keep it between the hedges, she's like a stockyard. But other than that, it's good, yeah.
With just the final runs over the Boggara Drive and Boing stages to go, we turn to the class battles now, and after taking the Class 2 win on day 1, Cal McCarthy and Gavin Sheehan were forced to retire their Citroen C2 R2 when the drive shaft broke on stage 7. Graham and Dean Kelly took over the lead and brought their similar machine home top of Class 2. In Class 4, Stephen Dixon and Tommy Hayes lost their place at the top of the Group N points table with a 5th place finish in Cork. In 4th place, it was a better weekend for Niall McCullough and Ryan McCluskey, who climbed to 3rd on the leaderboard.
80, middle over crest, 100, care, 1 left long and 4 right.
3rd in class and 11th overall was enough to move Conor McCourt and Caelan McKenna to the top of the Class 4 table, just 1 point ahead of Stephen Dixon. Owen Rogers and Paddy McCrudden took the top spot on day 1, but they had to settle for 2nd in class and 9th overall on day 2. Just 3 seconds ahead in 8th were Class 4 winners Niall Devine and Kieran McGrath, but with neither crew registered for points, they had no bearing on the championship standings. Enda McCormick and Colin Fitzgerald had been pushing for a top 10 finish, but after a couple of spins and overshoots in the Fiesta R5, they had to settle for 4th in Class 5 and 21st overall.
Down flat crest, 130 down, turn square left around the bale to join the tar, turn square left around the bale, join the tar. Oh, you have it. 80.
Despite a few bumps and scrapes along the way, Philip Allen and Mark Kane brought the Hyundai home in 7th overall and 3rd in Class 5. Stephen McCann and Kane Traynor lost a place on the last loop to finish 2nd in class and 6th overall. But taking the Class 5 trophy with over half a minute to spare were Cahan McCourt and Barry McNulty, who finished 4th overall in the new Fiesta R5. In Class 9, Dean Humphrey took full advantage of Lee Bracken's absence to record his 4th maximum score in a row, with Nigel Brennan navigating in the Vauxhall Corsa. Mike Garrahy secured the Class 10 driver's title with 2nd place at round 5. As class winner on the day, Tom Murphy isn't registered for the championship. Kieran Lynch and Adam Power took 2nd in class again on round 5 to keep their noses in front of the Class 11F leaderboard.
Don't cut the tree, it tightens the tree. 40, flat 2 left over crest. 40, 1 right, 40, crest, into long 2 left, and long 1 right.
A time penalty for a jump start in day 1 saw Stuart McLean and Johnny Holdsworth finishing 3rd in class, but they had a faultless drive on day 2 to take the class win in their Vauxhall Nova. Class 11R champions-elect James Dunphy and Shane Gaisley took another maximum points haul with 2nd in class on day 2, as class winners Paul Fitzgerald and Marty McGarty aren't registered for the championship. It was a mixed event for Rory McCaffrey and Lauren Kelly, who went off on stage 3 of day 1, but they rejoined under Rally 2 rules and took a good haul of points with 4th in class 12 at the end of day 2. Brian Little extended his lead over the absent Emmett Cronin, taking 3rd place, with Paul Sexton navigating in the Escort G3. Sean Benskin kept his Class 12 championship hopes alive with a runner-up spot on home soil. But taking the Class 12 honours was unregistered crew Mikey Walsh and Killian O'Sullivan in the Escort G3. Damien McGarren's season was definitely back on track after Cork, as he and navigator Michaela McGinn followed up 2nd in class on round 4 with the Class 13 win on round 5. In Class 14, Carlo's David Condell took 3rd place and finished 17th overall, with Paul Kelly navigating in the Mark II Escort. Nursing his recovering shoulder, Mickey Conlon did well to take 2nd in class and finish 14th overall, with navigator Kieran McPhillips. But taking the class win and 10th overall were Shane McGurr and Liam McIntyre. McGurr now leads Conlon in the battle for the 2-wheel drive crown.
Yeah, we're delighted to get it. You know, we never expected this. We've done a lot of work with this car. This was our first day out in it. I never dreamt of this. A fantastic result.
In Class 15, Niall Turley and Andrew Wedlock took the runner-up spot in the Subaru Impreza. John Reid and Enda Shields followed their 2nd place on round 4 with the Class 15 win on round 5. In Class 20, Pádraig Sheridan and Sean Brunton's debut drive on the Fiesta R5 netted 4th in class and 18th overall. Gary Donoghue and Andrew Brown took 3rd in Class 20 and finished 15th overall in the Mitsubishi Evo 9. Donald Sweeney and Stephen O'Hanlon went one better than day one to take 2nd in Class 20 and finish 12th overall in the Evo 6.
6 left again now. There you are, 6 left again, 300. The 6 right, 80. Yeah! 6 right, 80 till a 6 right, 200 onto the 3s. Down to chicane. That's it, 6 right, then down to chicane. You're using the one board. And left entry, bus stop, chicane. Watch the post, tidy out through it. 4 left now, 4 left. Tidy through the post, tidy, that's it.
There was a big improvement for Vivian Hamill too, as he took the Class 20 win and finished 5th overall, with Andrew Grennan calling the notes in the Fiesta R5. In the junior class, Derek Mackerel and Murren Hayes took 4th place, a commendable effort after developing mechanical issues in the Vauxhall Nova. The battle for the overall lead of the Junior Championship is really heating up now, as Marty Gallagher and Dean O'Sullivan finished 3rd in class in Cork to tie on points with runners-up on the day James Wilson and Gavin Doherty, both crews in Peugeot 208 R2s. But taking the junior win on round 5 were Jordan and Paul Hone, who lie just 8 points off the top spot in 4th with 2 rounds to go.
Jordan, it was definitely worth your while coming to the Cork Rally.
Yeah, no, we enjoyed our 2 days here, so it was a brilliant rally and great stages. No, we had a good time, so the car worked well and we had no real issues all weekend, so we were flat out, so no, we had a good time.
In the J1000 class, it was a dramatic weekend for Jason Murphy, who thought he'd thrown away the championship with an off on day one. But thanks to the loan of a wishbone from title rival Peter Beaton, Jason took 4th in class to secure his 2nd J1000 crown in a row, with uncle Matthew Murphy navigating in the Peugeot 107. But taking the J1000 win on both days of the Cork Forestry was Scottish driver Peter Beaton and navigator Conor Boylan.
We had a good battle with Rory as well. I think it was just 3 seconds in it for the points today, but with the lead we had yesterday that was carried over today, we've had a great lead for the 2 days, so managed to take the overall win for the 2 days.
Jason, what a win. 2nd year reigning champion. How does it feel?
It feels really good. The battle this year was unreal. Compared to last year, there was only like 2 of us in it, but this year was class. We had a good year.
To the overall podium finishers now, and with the maximum points from day one already in the bag, Andrew Purcell and Mark Wiley played it safe across the super fast stages of day 2 to secure 3rd place in their Fiesta R5. Mirroring that result, Josh Moffat and Stephen Thornton followed up a 3rd place finish on day 1 with maximum points on day 2, as they were the quickest crew by just 2.2 seconds, taking the day as a separate round of its own. But in terms of the Jim Walsh Cork Forest Rally as a whole, they had to settle for the runner-up spot, as their aggregate times over both days saw them finish 12 seconds adrift of overall winners Barry McKenna and Leon Jordan.
Barry, you've been leading all day in the Forest Rally. You must be absolutely thrilled to win it here today.
Oh, fantastic, yeah. For a 2-day event and to keep the lead, it was great. Some battling, like Josh and Andrew, they didn't leave it easy. It was a fantastic weekend.
Serious battle all day with Barry and Andrew there, so look, it's been hot and heavy all day, so we're over the moon to get maximum points.
On rough calculations, 1 point between the 3 of us now, a drop score, so it's all relief.
And there's confirmation of the results of the CFF Group Jim Walsh Cork Forest Rally, which sees Barry McKenna lead the championship after 5 rounds. But with the best 5 scores to count out of 7, it's still all to play for with 2 rounds to go.
Full credit goes to Paul Casey, clerk of the course, and his team for a fantastic 2-day event here at the Cork Forest Rally. We will be heading up north to Lakeland stages for the next round. Hope to see you all soon. From all of us here at On The Limit Sports, bye for now.